Now is the time to step up, speak up, and stop the killing of good animals. Because to be honest with you, to say humanely euthanizing dogs for space is egregious.
Yeah.
Because what you really do is killing adoptable dogs.
From the Mad Dog Studios, That's My Dog podcast, the only podcast designated, designed, and directed to making you and your pooch stars. With your host, Lance Craig, I am Ted Cook. Together, well, we're going to unleash the zoomies on you right now. There are two parts to a chemical reaction, kinetic energy and electric energy. Well, today's guest exemplifies both of these reactions as she subtly saves countless fur lives from total destruction. She's the subatomic particle that none of us sees. However, if her spin, if it isn't in the right direction, well, simply put, more dogs cease to exist. We're so glad that her orbit smashed into ours, and hopefully together, well, we can save even more lives, fur lives. Please welcome to That's My Dog, Miss Paula Dutton.
Today we are speaking with Paula Dutton, dog mom of 3, volunteer rescuer, and boots on the ground for the Paws Saving Paws initiative. This woman is an incredible asset to the whole rescue community. I don't want to eat into too much of her time, so please welcome to That's My Dog, Miss Paula Dutton. Paula, thank you so much for being here today and being a part of the program. We really do appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Well, let's just cut to the chase and ask you specifically, how did you get into this line of work with rescuing dogs? And I know your work with Jared Held of the Paws Saving Paws initiative.
So, a wild story, not really a wild story. I didn't ever plan to be in rescue. It just kind of came out that way, if you will. I started a TikTok like a year ago. Well, I've been on TikTok, but I started like really getting into it and getting into the dog pack community and meeting people and doing different things. And I met my bestie, Deanna, and she was in the connection with the Paws Saving Paws team at the time. And this is Jared started like, I think, what do you say, in January of about a year and a half ago, going into 2 years, what have you.
Right.
Soon. Right. Or 2 years in January. So they were pushing dogs and they were kind of doing their thing. And she was interacting with them and involved with it. And she invited me. And so I went to a live. And a fact about me is I've never been to a shelter in my life, which is crazy because I'm into rescue. But I've never stepped foot in a shelter. I do have a couple. I have 3 dogs myself. 2 of them were rescued from their situation, and they've been with me. But I got invited to the live, and I went to the live and seen what was going on. And when I went in, I was immediately like, oh my gosh, this is so, I mean, I didn't even really give it like the time because I was like, oh my gosh, this is sad. Because I already knew it was a sad situation, but it was like the first time of me really seeing it because I've never been to a shelter. So it was shocking, even though the situation's not even, I mean, that is the best, rescue live event that I've ever been a part of. Just everything included. You've been there yourself, Ted, so you've seen it for your own self.
Lance has too. We both have.
Yes,
It's incredible. It's impactful for sure.
Absolutely. It's an incredible experience. And I didn't even really give it the time. I kind of just the daily heart me, share, repost, and bounced. Okay.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not doing that again. And so as Deanna and I became closer, she continued to have conversations about it and asking me, what the deal was, not what the deal was, but what it was. Because she was curious what was keeping me from it or wanting to get involved.
Sure.
And I just told her, I was like, it's sad. It breaks my heart. And And basically, based on our conversation, it was pretty much like, sadder is somebody that knows it's a sad situation and they still do nothing, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. So on that note, how about just telling us a little bit about what's like day to day in the rescue operations?
So with Paws Saving Paws, I don't know about anybody else. I've been a team member with them since late last year. I've been doing videos for, I think, starting at the end of the last year up until current. That's how we met, Ted.
And go ahead and plug your handle, please, on TikTok, Paula.
Rose, Weenie, and Willow. But if you, I know that's kind of probably weird to find, but if you just type in Rose, I have 3 dogs. It'll say, I have a blue ring around it, and it'll say Paws Saving Paws. So that's how you know that's a team member. Anybody on TikTok, if there is a profile that you see and it has a blue ring around it and it says Paws Saving Paws, that is an actual team member of Paws Saving Paws or PSP.
And we'll have you state that again at the end of the show, Paula.
Absolutely. I work with an amazing team. So after that, after we had that conversation and she made me realize standing by and doing nothing was messed up. So
Right.
I started attending and I started staying, and I would stay through the whole thing. And I realized that there was a need there. And everybody thinks that they can't do anything. I've heard that from so many people because I sometimes do Sunday push lives to get registrations and to get people to go into the live. I sometimes will do it like an hour right before the live goes on. Just to
Elaborate on that, please, Paula. That push. What is that about specifically?
So when I started out with Paws Saving Paws, I was a booster and I was amazing at it. So what I would do, it was just go around and boost and stuff like that. But what I would do once I started going more, I decided to do a pre-boost for Paws Saving Paws to gather registration. So if you see this poster behind me, it's the Paws Saving Paws emblem. So, and I did a month's worth of going live prior and getting people to register, and all their names are on that poster right there. So
now, after they register, what are you wanting from them? Are you wanting them to possibly adopt? Or are you wanting them to just, oh,
come on, back.
Oh my God. The pups are totally invited.
yeah.
So this is Rose.
Okay.
It's my dog. This is Rose.
I
And then
think
I have 2
the idea why you do what you do, Paula.
Yes. So she was saved from the streets, from a bad situation, and she's been with me for, I think, going on about 5 years now.
Wow.
At least, 3 or 4 years now. My sister.
Okay, so I think Ted
um,
was talking about like what with the like registrations, what are you then wanting from people after they register?
If they could go by and like and share and repost out the live, so it'll get more out there. I mean, visibility saves lives, and that is just a true fact.
Mm.
So, I mean, my sole purpose is just try to get more people involved, because for me, that's how I got involved. Because and what encouraged me to stay in is after I started finding out the things that went along with that, like the time frame for dogs to be seen is just absolutely too short.
Please elaborate on that, Paula.
So, I mean, you heard in Jared's the time frame, and this is for San Antonio. Strays get a 3-day hold. Owner surrenders can go from the counter to their youth room. And the owner, mind you, the owner signs a paper saying that they know that, and they pay money to surrender their dogs. Just so you know.
Would you please repeat that one more time, Paula? Please.
So owner surrenders in San Antonio that are on a list, and there's a big list. They sign a paper actually saying that they know that their dog could be euthanized at any time, and they pay money to surrender their dogs. Yes.
That is brutal.
So, and I can give you an example, and I have a video on my page still, and they are no longer with us, and it's Merlot and Beto, and they were euthanized. I'm sorry.
You don't need to apologize. I cried on this podcast, so it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about this is real stuff, and real emotions happen. I mean, we fall in love with these dogs. It's not, I mean, and they are so pure and so lovable. I mean, there would be something wrong if it didn't affect you,
Yeah.
Well put, cuz.
Yeah, I mean, really, for a day-to-day for me is, of course, managing my videos and stuff like that, checking in, because we have chats that go on. Paws Saving Paws is pretty highly organized with the spreadsheet on tracking dogs, who goes on the youth list, who gets adopted, how they get adopted, if Paw Saving Paws risk, I mean, it's all right there in the spreadsheet. Who does the video? And after it's all said and done, whatever the situation is, that's also documented. There's a chat for the adopter heroes, and they'll set up in a certain way, so that's all tracked. And then the dogs at youth, they have a certain chat, and they have their kennel cards in there, and then like kind of like a profile as well. And that kind of segues into what Deanna does, and she has created a memorial garden for the
We're going
dogs
to have her. We're going to have her on.
Yes, yes, I'm very excited about that. I mean, we are called the Bopsy twins in the group, because we like to collab a lot, and come up with new ideas on try to get people in, because that's the overall goal, is to get more people in so we can get more eyes on the dogs and get them the hell out of Texas. That's the goal, and getting awareness out there. I feel like it's very important. I know we talk about it all the time, about properly introducing your dogs, because after a dog is adopted and or gets out of the shelter in any way, they still have to have that time to decompress, come into their own and figure out that they're in a safe place, because they're coming from whatever trauma happened to prior them coming to their best friend's home. And sometimes people give up on that situation before they give them time, because they didn't properly introduce, or they just think it's a ready-made dog, and that's just not the facts.
Yeah.
And then they get returned to the shelter, and the time has not stopped ticking, has it?
It does not. They will go straight to the youth list. There was at least 16 dogs the last I checked in our chat that they were talking, but I also seen that they were still adding more dogs. So what that means is there's just a list of youth dogs, and I'm not sure what the count is. They're not closed yet. I think they close at 7. So, and I know they've changed their pattern of youthing, if you will. So I'm not really sure how that goes. And it used to be a lot easier to watch the youth list, and not all team members watch the youth list. And I don't always watch it myself. I know Petey Mom and Grace do, but now it's not as easy to determine who they take out and who they don't.
Paula, why do you think there are so many dogs being abandoned in your community these days?
I think because of a lot of backyard breeding, hoarding, these dog fighting rings. There's a multitude of reasons, but it's overpopulated, and it's just a crisis that has gotten out of control. And I think that maybe some people are in situations where they can't afford to maintain their dogs, or maybe their situation has changed. I don't know why they would choose to put their dogs on the street. A lot of times, probably because the shelters have a wait list to, surrender your dog. For a fact, like OKC, Animal Welfare, is closed to intake dogs because they got 500 animals in intake, and there's a criminal case pending, so they can't do anything with those animals until that's cleared. So that means they only have adoption from 12 to 5. That's limitation of visibility on them dogs now, even less than they already had before. I know they don't euthanize as quickly as San Antonio, because San Antonio can choose to 6 days a week. Do they euthanize every day? Sometimes no, they don't. They did not Saturday. But I rode some pretty high highs with San Antonio, and I rode some pretty low lows with them.
Yeah.
They do it twice a day too, don't they?
Yes, and they've just changed that. Like before, it was like, I think like the hot time, if you will, it was like between 11 and 3-ish, or 12-ish and 3, So, but now I think it's changed, and it's crazy to me, because I will look at the youth list off and on, even though I know they're not doing it the same, but I see these dogs outside that are on the youth list, and I'm like, geez, they're even outside. You know how it is in San Antonio right now?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's hot here
Yeah.
in North Carolina. I could only imagine how hot it is over there.
Which brings up a good point, Lance. Did you know you're in a high kill state?
I'm learning that. I'm learning
You
that.
are.
We had a guest on a couple weeks ago, a lady who runs a rescue called Rusty's Legacy, and she's done a lot to change that in her individual county. And I know that things can even be different from county to county, but yeah, these are all things that I'm learning that I had no idea about.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's five high kill states in America, which is Texas, California, Florida, North Carolina, and
Yeah.
Georgia.
That's wild.
It is
Yeah.
crazy to me to see some of these statistics and stuff like that. Because I mean, of course, now that I'm in rescue, that's everything that comes into my orbit, if you will. So of course, I'm like wanting to learn because I'm new myself,
Hmm.
doing this and stuff like that. But I know that it has given me a purpose that I didn't have before, and Jared and the team are a big part of that. To be
Sure.
honest with you, I mean, the people that I work with there, I mean, they are dedicated to, saving these dogs and getting them the hell out of Texas for the better part. Because if you don't know the team, so I know you said boots on the ground, but we're a virtual boots on the ground. So I know Jared talked there, there's a team. I mean, and we're from all over. I'm actually from Oklahoma. Deanna's from Indiana. Pity Mom, I think is, oh my God, she's gonna be
Alabama? I think she's Alabama.
Alabama. Thank you, Alabama. Oh
Yeah,
my God,
yeah. Right.
she would have been so mad at me for saying no. Grace and Cheryl are from the East Coast. Hannah is from Nebraska. And Caitlin's moving to Nebraska. I'm not an NC girl. There you have it. It's NC. She's from
Mm,
North Carolina.
Right. She is.
And then
Mhm.
we have an international people that came on, Mookie and Whip. That's how, I guess, what keeps me going. Of course, is the dogs always, but what Jared does and the PSP community does is just, I don't know if I could even put into words. It's just, if you're wanting to save animals, this is where you should be, and this is where you should be a part of.
mm,
You know what I mean? It's just what he does with animals, because you guys have been there,
mm.
and what it all involves and stuff like that, and the community that is in that chat. They're amazing rock stars and supporters, and sharers and reposters and stuff like that, and then the adoptions that go on are just amazing. So that's why I stay in. I mean, I'm inspired all the time by the dedication that this team and Jared has towards to dogs.
Well,
Sorry.
Well,
it's so clear. It's so clear the passion and the heart
hmm.
behind this. It is so clear. I mean, it is infectious, really. Just like that conversation we had with Jared, I felt like it's like, wow, this guy, like he is so passionate about this, and how could you not want to help in some way, because it is so infectious. And I think it really seems like he is setting the tone for that overall for you guys as a team too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that makes total sense.
Well, I was going to have her share her favorite adoption story is what I wanted to hear. We're almost in tears here, so let's have some happiness. What's a favorite adoption story you could share with us,
Oh
Paula?
gosh. I mean, well, this, it's one thing to talk about an adoption story, but to see an adoption story
Mm,
is another thing. So the first time that I ever seen a freedom ride, it was randomly. Deanna and myself were on, and we were, on together. And Jared popped into Deanna's live just randomly, and I was able to pull him up in a little box. And he was picking up Rolo, and it was just an amazing to just be able to see that for the first time. So I think Rolo, and not that I haven't seen some, others, like, we have some amazing rescues within the PSP family. Not only to, do these team members, ride hard for every dog. A couple of team members have also saved dogs
mm,
themselves. So, I mean, so that's pretty amazing. But yeah, Rolo, to see all that. And then, once he got Rolo in the car, he come back. It was just pretty cool to see all that, and of
Right.
course to see Miller on Sunday. That was pretty awesome because
Mhm.
Miller, was in a situation. I mean, if nobody would have stepped up for him, Miller's chances were very, very slim
Wow.
because, he had the whole skin thing going on, but which is very treatable. And he is a love bug, from what I
Mm.
understand. We've already got updates about him.
Well, that was
So,
going to be my next question is do you ever get updates from the ones that get adopted
oh
and
yeah.
what? Yeah,
Oh God, yes. Yeah, Jared, and he hasn't in a while. We has talked about it. And I mean, everybody's just so busy and trying to get everything lined out. But he has adopted lives, and the his very first one was amazing, and a lot of the adopters came back and showed their dogs, and just said how it was, and that was pretty amazing. Matter of factly, I'm surprised. So LeBron, a dog that got adopted out of ACS, his owner went to a wonderful family, and the guy is opening a bar, and he has a whole wall, and it's like dedicated to Paws Saving Paws, and he's wanting to do different things, to I do. I believe, right? Contribute in some way. I don't know the logistics or the
Sure.
fine print of that or anything like that, but I just know that him adopting LeBron, he fell in love with the whole thing of it all, if that makes
sure.
sense.
Oh, it
Yeah.
does. Absolutely. It's a community. It's with a lot of
Yeah,
heart. Sure.
yeah. I mean, we've had actual, somebody adopt off the live, and Hannah paid the adoption fee. That lady went right up there and adopted that dog, and that was right off the live.
Well,
So,
we heard the term freedom ride. Could you elaborate a little bit on that as well?
oh, freedom rides. The freedom rides are the best. So freedom rides is when Jared or Paw Saving Paws tags a dog, and we got an adoption and everything like that. So he goes and picks up the dog and does a whole video and stuff like that, and and goes to the next step. Now, you seen Betty Boop on the video, and that was the last save, and he told the story about that. But Betty Boop went and stayed with him in lieu of a normal thing, so that was kind of different. So Betty Boop got to decompress in a different way. Usually, the dogs go to Callahan's and they go through the medical testing and all that stuff like that. And because when you adopt a dog, it's especially through Paw Saving Paws, it's at least, you don't get the dog like the next day. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. There's a regiment that has to be gone through. Like, the dog has to be medically checked out to make sure that, everything's tip toppity before, the dog ever, gets ready for transport and stuff like that. It's usually like a 2 week sit before they get transported, I believe.
Okay.
Um,
Well, that would
so
make sense. Sure.
yeah. So at one time, Jared had the whole wing, and they called it Paw Saving Paws wing.
Mm.
Oh, I could see that. I could see Jared doing that for sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he's a diehard. Like I mean, he's the type of guy that you could call and be like, here's a dog out here. I guess he's literally done that. And Queenie,
That's what he was saying when he came on the show at 2, 3 o'clock in
oh
the morning. He goes.
yeah, yeah. He saved Queenie off the street, and he found her a home. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Jared's got a dog's heart. I
Mm.
mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And I'm here for it, is what I can say. And I couldn't imagine anywhere else, honestly.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about this. You mentioned, and I think Jared, yeah, mentioned that this really started not even 2 years ago. And I am really just blown away by the energy and the commitment and how much this has grown in that period of time. Uh, I,
It's really amazing.
it's really amazing, and you guys are so, I mean, when something picks up like that, that's when you know you're on the right track, right? I mean, and
Hey,
there's so many people that want to I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that doesn't want dogs to be saved. I don't know anybody, but I think this, and being a part of this is and being able to see these things just helps people to feel a part too.
that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel so. I work with the public, So, I mean, I do at least have 1 to 2 conversations about rescuing animals and bringing awareness on, hey, did you know this happens at the shelter? You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
encourage anybody in the listening area to check your local state shelter, see what they're doing. If you don't know what they're doing, you need to find out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because not these just, bringing up these 5 high kill shelters. A lot of states do it and don't say anything about it. Mississippi kills a lot of dogs and nobody's saying nothing about that. So, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. But to me, what I see is, times are changing, folks.
Yeah.
We are at ground zero. I truly believe that. And what we do next is what will set the precedence of what's going to happen in the future. It's a coming. You
Yeah.
can join us now or you can join us later. But
Yeah.
I mean, I feel really bad for people that keep their head in the sand, and somebody like me. And I can honestly say that because I had my head in the sand until it was pulled out and I seen for myself. And I know what I know, and I can't go back from that. I only want to press forward. So the sad situations that we go through, and there is some crying, and it is a lot of heartache. And we have each other to support each other. You know what I mean? And we got somewhere to go with that. Some people don't, but there's many, many ways to help support animals. It's not just about adopting and fostering, even though those are the most important things. Fostering, we need to work on a network, people. I mean, that is very vital. But I think, learning and, people are changing. People are like your children, it's a commitment. So, and I think harder laws like are changing. Florida and Tennessee, they both have registries. Florida just signed, Tennessee signed back in 2014, I think,
Mm.
but they're statewide. But there's also local states that do it at a local level. We need to get it to a point where it's like a national database.
Yeah.
You're an animal abuser, you're not allowed to do that. Spadering and neutering and getting that out there. And I do know a lot falls on maybe certain areas. I'm not sure how that would be tackled, but I'd certainly be interested in being part in changing people's minds to, you know what I mean? I don't think it would hurt.
What's the breed that you think has the biggest and unjustifiably negative connotation, I guess, for the lack of a better word?
Pit bulls.
Pit bulls.
Yeah.
I
You're
kind of,
definitely not the
You
first to have
say
said that.
American
yeah.
Staffy
Yeah.
Terrier or whatever it comes down. If you look at that youth list, it's pit bulls.
And pit bulls were bred as nursery dogs, which is
Absolutely.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
something we've
mean,
learned here. And I'm got like every single pit bull I've ever met has been the biggest sweetie pie
Yeah.
ever.
Same
And
you
here.
seen mine come up and lick my face.
oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And she lives with 2 weenie dogs.
Yeah.
The weenie dogs are more aggressive than she is, probably.
So that's
Yeah.
interesting. So do you feel like there's just a lot of people you said on the youth list, like most of them, well, not most of them, but a lot of them are pit bulls. Do you think just a lot of people are adopting or buying these dogs and they're just like treating them poorly and like they're acting out because of that, or like why do you think that is?
What do you think? Why do I think these dogs are ending up in the shelters?
Yeah,
These
the pit
uh,
bulls, yeah, in particular.
I think probably there's a lot of factors involved, to be honest with you. I think maybe, poor ownership, maybe, first and
Hmm.
foremost, maybe irresponsible ownership,
Sure.
first and foremost. But there could be many levels of, like the financial matter of it. A
Yeah.
lot of people have had to move and, can't take your dog. I don't understand a move where I can't take my dog. And I mean, I know there's other ways, but I mean, I'm not in that position to really judge that. But I
Sure.
know, those situations as it come along. I think overbreeding, like, maybe, a breeder has a set and maybe don't know, not all of them get, sold, if you will, because
Mm,
let's be honest, if you're breeding for money. You
sure.
don't care about the
Yeah.
dogs, you care about
No.
money.
No. Yeah.
So if some of them don't sell or what have you, what do you think says those dogs? Because
Yeah.
they don't care about them dogs. They only care about the money.
Yeah.
So they're going to put them on the streets.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I mean, I'm just thinking about this. There are so many reasons why people would uh, give up a dog, but I think that, I don't know. I think that,
I think the number one is, though, that, it's coming from an older time, to a more, I don't want to say more sensitive time, but I'm going to say more sensitive time.
sure.
I think it's coming a time, where more people are caring. They care about their animals because they're like family, because
Yeah.
honestly, they're your family. They're a
Yeah.
lifelong commitment. And
Yeah.
so you really, and I've said this a lot in this kind of business, you do what you can, not what you want. If we were all doing what we wanted, the shelters would be clear.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in this line of business, I mean, I hear people saying it's so sad. I can't do nothing. Yes, you can. You can absolutely do a lot of things that are free,
Hmm.
mind you, to
And
get
Paula,
visibility. Yes.
if they want to help, how can they reach out to you or Jared with the Paws Saving Paws initiative?
Oh, I mean, you can find us on TikTok. I mean, Jared is absolutely Paws Saving Paws. I'm Rosie Weenie Willow. And again, any team member with the ring, with Paws Saving Paws, and it'll say Paws Saving Paws. And that is a actual team member that is, in the beehive, if you will. There's a multitude of us that do videos and push that out. And you can go to you can go to the link tree on my page and Jared's page. And
Which
you
I'll
can find
also include I'll include the link tree on the description of this episode as well.
Yeah, Jared's got every team member listed. Mine, there's a link in my link tree, and it'll say Pity Mom, but you can click on that and it'll open up and it will give you every team member that does videos and their backups. I think it'll be updated. I'm sure she'll be updated. I keep hers because she keeps hers updated.
Mhm.
And she's good with that. So it'll give you a list of all the team members. I also have a backup page that I started just to do this because my page was for my dogs.
Yeah.
And that's how it originally started. And then, rescue came along and that's where my page went.
Yeah.
And if you look on my page, it's all rescue dogs except for the bottom is, my dogs and stuff. But
Yeah.
so I have a backup as well that I push videos out and I'm building out just, for that special niche right there. And also so I can have the additional eyes and, build that as a complete rescue page, if you will, or advocate networking, environment where not all that's in there, but a majority of that's what's in there.
If there was one message that you really wanted to convey during this time with us, what would that message be?
I think the message I think I would want everybody or anybody to know is, now is the time to step up, speak up, and stop the killing of good animals. Because to be honest with you, to say humanely euthanizing dogs for space is egregious.
Yeah.
Because what you really do is killing adoptable dogs. Let's be honest. So, but to stay on a positive note, in order to change those things, we need everybody to get involved. Whatever you can do, I mean, it is needed. And so I encourage everyone to open their hearts, open their minds, and be compassionate and start spreading the word that saving animals' lives across America should be a priority.
Yeah.
Priority. The abuse and it's gotten out of control. This is a human problem, so it's going to take humans to undo it. And it didn't happen overnight, so everybody's needed. It's a one love movement, no kill movement. I mean, just get involved.
So well said. So well said. This was such a great conversation, Paula. We are so grateful we got to have you here with us.
You guys got me all emotional and stuff, but it is very near and dear to my heart. And I hope that anybody and everybody that loves animals, will see the need and get involved. You know what I mean? Because it changes with all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sure, it's one love.
Yes, you were perfect, Paula.